Okay, welcome everybody to our Monday morning or afternoon for some of you team call. We have a special guest here today, Robin Mascari, and I'd like to introduce our host, Francis Parker. Francis has been in the industry for 35 years, and he's a wonderful coach and an expert at helping people develop their vision. So he's available to all of us on the team to reach out to him. He'll let us know his contact details later on. So Francis, would you like to introduce Robin?
Well, you know what? I sent that off to you so you could, because she's got tremendous accolades, and so I don't have that in front of me, so I did email it to you. Did you see it by any chance? No? Okay, that's fine. Robin, you are such a remarkable person. It would be good if you could tell us about yourself, because you know, you have a very vast experience and you have a very vast knowledge of the industry, and it just proves it. I believe I was told that you are a top 10 income earner with your husband, Gregory. Is that true?
For the month of March, yes, last month.
That is fantastic.
Thank you.
That is fantastic, yeah. Tell us a little bit how you got started and stuff like that, because I think people are interested in knowing, especially ladies, you know, because I think really that this is an empowering business, but I think it's particularly empowering for ladies. And I think that's when I got started almost 35 years ago, it was about 80% women. And then it's, you know, it became more acceptable for men too, but I think ladies naturally share. So tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll get into the meat of things.
Okay, well, how I got into the industry, is that what you want to know, Francis?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, great. So my background is in the corporate world, and I found an area of the corporate world that I loved, and it was personal and leadership development. And I was really blessed to work with some amazing organizations. I spent 15 years with Enlightened Leadership. And leadership is about growing people. And that's my true passion, is personal development. And then I was fortunate and blessed to get involved with the Covey Leadership Center back in 1988. Most people know Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I got to help launch that book and work with Stephen, and it changed my life dramatically. So Stephen Covey quotes fall out of my mouth regularly. I'll preface it ahead of time, but I will share some with you today. And a friend shared a product with me many years ago, and I was having some health challenges, and this product changed my life. And you know what you're saying, Francis, about women is we naturally share. That's just our nature. And yeah, it doesn't matter if I get paid or not. I just like to share if something's valuable. So this juice drink, in the early days of juice drinks, it changed my life, and I shared it with people. And then all of a sudden money started coming in, and then every month my income was doubling, and I went, I better learn about this business because there's something here. And I do invite everyone, no matter where you come from, to be a student of this business model. If you've had success in conventional business, it does not always translate. And so learning the business model will make a huge difference in your success, because it is different. In conventional business, you become a product and an expert, and you share your expertise. And in this business, if you're talking as Darren Hardy from San Diego, Katharina, you point to a tool. And Darren Hardy is one of my favorite resources. I wish I would have listened to it's a YouTube called Making the Shift. And it's the mindset necessary to be successful in network marketing. And he talks about all the landmines. I did them all, and I made all the mistakes because I didn't have anyone to train me. I had to kind of train myself. And so I became a student of the profession, and one thing led to another. And as my husband Gregory says, once you fall in love with network marketing, there's no known cure. And, you know, we've been in many companies. I thought the first one I was in, I was going to be a lifer, and things change. We've been there, haven't we, Francis? Oh, Francis, your sound went off, so come back. Anyway, we had been looking for a home. We'd been in many different companies, and God bless all the people that kept following us, even though, as we say, we dragged them through the briar patch because we thought it was something wonderful, and it didn't turn out that way. And then we found LifeWave. And do you want me to tell about my LifeWave story, how I got started? Okay, great.
Yes, I would. Can you hear me okay now, Robin?
Now I can. Good. You're back.
Okay, great.
Glad to have you back, Francis. So back in November of 2018, I was researching, actually before that, I was researching stem cell injections because I had some serious pain in one of my knees. The other one had been replaced. And I didn't want to go through that again. And so what happened was I found what I wanted. It was $12,500 out of pocket, no guarantee.
Ooh.
I know. And then one day I got a call from Kai Jacobson. And he talked about this breakthrough technology in stem cell affordable. That's the key word, is affordable stem cell activation. Yeah. I was very high profile in another company. I was one of their top leaders, and I started LifeWave as a customer. And I put the X39 patch on the top of my spine, and then a week later, the pain was gone. And I was a customer. And I love my title by Dr. Nicholas, Best Customer Ever. It's one of my favorites. And one thing led to another. And then by the end of February, I realized that other company, it was just too bumpy. And I had lost, in the 5 pillars, when Kai talks about belief in the company, I had lost belief. And so at the end of February of last year, I decided to really switch my focus and started building LifeWave as a business. And I was building it, and I was having more fun than I've ever had. I'm a numbers person. I really like numbers. And I was doing spreadsheets and looking at my conversions, and my 20 plus years of network marketing, I'd never seen anything like it. People want what we have to offer, and the timing is incredible, and there's no competition out there. And it was the easiest thing I'd ever seen duplicate. So Gregory and I went to the launch of X39 in Los Angeles. They did a worldwide tour last January. Started out in Europe and Austria, then went to Asia, and then ended up in Los Angeles. And we're in a room with 300 people. Now, remember, this is a company that's 15 years old. And there were 300 people in the room. And Gregory and I looked around, and really, I was already all in, but the penny dropped for Gregory at that time, because he looked around the room. There weren't many business people there. They were product people, there were science people, there was all this amazing science that was presented to us with scientists on stage. There was no hype, and the penny dropped for Gregory, and he shifted what he was doing to join me as partners, and we love to work together. So the rest is history.
Robin, that is spectacular. The thing I was taken with you when I met you over the phone was you were so transparent, so genuine, and you were a feminine lady. You were not a bulldozer. You were not somebody who pushed people. You were just a gentle soul. And then when I found out through the grapevine you were a top 10 income earner, I said, wow. And I added you as a mentor now, you and Gregory as mentors, because this is the way I want to live. I want to live with nice people that are transparent, that don't manipulate or control. And you just have such a great way about you. And through checking through the ranks, everybody says the same thing about you and Gregory. Everybody loves you, and I'm one of your new best friends.
No,
and so
I'm honored. Honored.
And I've been around for more than a third of a century doing this. So I can tell you, I've been around a lot of great people, and you're right up there in the top folks. So Robin, I really would like to know, and I'm sure the whole group here wants to know, how you actually approach somebody with X39 and LifeWave.
That's a great question. And before I answer the question, the reason that we're here together today is I listened to the interview that you did with Kai, and I was so deeply touched by how you edified him. And he's an extraordinary being. He's very humble. He's very soft-spoken, and he's a master. I call him Yoda. And I said that to Kai, and he says, well, why don't you call Francis and thank him? And so the rest is history, and here we are. And I was so fun to get to know you. And I'm seeing that in LifeWave, it's attracting the good guys in this profession, because there's lots of different kinds of people, but there's something really, really special about LifeWave. And a lot of people are like, where do you start? What do you say? And we created, a simple line that just works for everybody. And, but before I get to that, I want to go to the most important part is before I present anything. And this is really when people have asked me, what, Robin, has been behind your success? And my whole life, I've just loved a lot of people. And I'm curious, and I ask a lot of questions, and I get to know people. And as you know, this is a relationship business, and people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. That's just bottom line in any kind of business, and especially in this business. And so before I even present anything, I connect. And I remember years ago when I was in the outplacement world, that's a fancy name for career transition. I worked with the world's largest firm, and worked with thousands of people going through career transition. And they asked me to do a class on networking. And honestly, networking was an unconscious competence for me. People always called me this networker, but I didn't really know what that meant. And then I had to become conscious about it. And what happened was, and I watched doing it with Katharina this morning, and it's just natural for me. And I know it's not natural for everyone, is looking for where you can connect. People in common, places in common. I asked Katharina where she lived, and we both, I used to live in San Diego too. So then she used to be in Milwaukee, and I was in the north suburbs of Chicago. So we're already bonded, and we have you in common. So we have many different connections already. And in these interesting times, what's more important is the relationship than anything. It's, there's some people, when you get their phone call and you look at your caller ID, they're calling to pitch you on something, or they want something from you. Those people, right? Yes. Don't be one of those. And as excited as you are about whatever it is you have, the connection is always first. And for some people like me, it was an unconscious competence. And then I really started to look at what was it that I do naturally and unconsciously to help other people do it and develop that skill. And that's a skill of connecting. And it's a skill about being curious about people, genuinely curious. If you're doing it we all know what it feels like to be techniqued by someone who went to some class and learned some technique, and then they try it out on you. It doesn't work, because people know it, they feel it. Don't do it unless you genuinely really want to know. And I am going to get to your question, Francis, but I do want to address, the times we're in, because it's different now when approaching people than it has ever been because of what we're all going through. So first and foremost, this is a sharing and caring business. And it's caring and sharing, sharing and caring. And that beautiful line, I think it was Jim Rohn, who says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So taking the time to really connect and care about people right now. So I make calls every day to people I haven't talked to in a long time, or people that I know are isolated. They're by themselves. They live in an apartment on a high rise. I just want to, every single day, I just make a call to check in without an agenda. You know, it may turn into something, it may not. Matter of fact, I called someone the other day, and she's someone I've known for 40 years. And, you know, I just called to connect. And what ended up happening is she just kept talking all about herself, and she didn't ask me anything. And this is someone who used to be a really dear friend. And, you know, so it was really interesting. I didn't go there. I didn't, you know, I just wanted to check in. So right now, what I do with people is I ask them, you know, how are they? You know, yeah, how are they holding up? You know, what's going on right now for you? You know, I ask people, what are they doing to keep their immune system strong? So I'm planting seeds, but without an agenda, because I really do want to know. So I want to know what's keeping you strong and healthy right now. How's your exercise routine now that you're home? You know, I know people that are home gyms, and I know people that are going to the refrigerator a lot and doing those comfort foods and everywhere in between, you know? And so, you know, what's keeping your mindset, you know, forward focused? How you know, are you watching a lot of TV? Or are you filling your mind with wonderful things? You know, I noticed that Darren Hardy, he's giving away his book, The Compound Effect. What a wonderful thing to be doing is working on yourself right now, because many people have more time than ever to do things that are going to make a huge difference in their future. And so then I ask them, you know, how are you staying connected? With friends, with family. You know, I have friends and I know people that they don't have Facebook, they don't do Zoom, they don't do anything. What are they doing to stay connected? Because right now, more than ever, you know, people are feeling isolated, and so many people miss those hugs. You know, they don't have pets at home like we have, and they don't have someone, you know, I'm so grateful that, you know, my husband is someone I love and I like, you know, and I know that's not always true for people. And we have 5 animals, so, and we can go outside. We live in Montana, but that's not true for everybody. So what are they doing to stay connected? And then, you know, asking them, you know, how you doing income wise? How you doing financially? And so I want to really know what's going on. And if they express, you know, concern about one of those areas, we have got what people want and need in all 3 of those areas. We have it in spades. You know, if people are afraid for their health, you know, I love the webinar that David Schmidt did on March 17th. I thought it was exquisite. He never mentioned LifeWave. He didn't mention products. He gave very, very solid, scientifically backed information about what this virus is and what it isn't, how to protect yourself if you get infected, simple home remedies that can handle it. It's very contagious. It's not very dangerous. Sadly, the news inflates it. And there's simple ways to take care of it. So, I mean, I gargle with hydrogen peroxide every day. I drink, I sip, you know, hot lemon water. I do a lot of those simple things, and he's a trusted source. So if someone's concerned and worried, I send that to them. I want to be a place of offering value without asking for anything back. You know, if someone says, you know, I'm just, I feel really alone. One of the beauties of this business is people enter from one of 3 doors. They enter through the product, the opportunity, or the community. There's some people that just want to be part of something. And, you know, you're creating this wonderful community, and LifeWave is this amazing community. And each team has an opportunity to create your own community, you know, having a Facebook group. We have, you know, there's a Facebook group called Vibrant Living, which doesn't talk about products or company. It's just an inspiring place of uplifting information that people can be part of, in addition to, you know, if you have a team Facebook group. So, you know, I kind of embrace people and bring them in. And then the opportunity, if they're really concerned about income, then I might share, and I'm getting to your question now, Francis. I say, you know, I've discovered a historic breakthrough in affordable stem cell technology. And
that's fantastic. That's great, Robin.
Well, it works. It took a long time to refine it down to the place, and I use that all the time when I'm talking to people. And it also supports your immune system. So you want to, again, connect with where they are right now and what they need. So it's a wonderful home-based business. It's a company that's thriving. There's no competition, but I don't want to say too much. I want to find out typically if they're interested. So after I say, I've discovered, and it's made a big difference for me, it took me out of pain in my knee, and we're allowed to say the pain word because the company has double-blind studies from independent sources on that. Most natural products companies can't use the P word. It's a medical world. So I just say that, and they say, that sounds, they kind of shake their head a little bit, and they go, well, that's interesting. And then they say, well, I'd like more information. And then I point to a tool. I send them the 3-minute video. And I say, here's a 3-minute video. When in the next day or so can you watch this? And then at the moment, never end one exposure without setting up the next. So you set up a follow-up call. They say, well, I could watch that tonight. Great. You want me to call you tonight or tomorrow? And then you put it in your calendars on the spot. And when you call them, I like to ask people their level of interest. And Kai and I have talked about this a lot. It's, on a scale of 1 to 10, based on what you watched, what's your interest level? Because remember, our major job is that connection, but it's also to give people enough information to make an informed decision. So they might say, well, that was interesting, but I need more. So I ask people, are you the kind of person that likes a lot of information or little or somewhere in between? We have got lots of tools that I hope everyone's got the LifeWave InTouch app. It's amazing. And we're very fortunate the company has offered that free to us. Other companies charge their distributors. LifeWave is a very generous company. And so do you prefer text or email? If you like a lot of information, okay, great. So then you want to send them, would you like to read the clinical studies? Would you like to read the story of X39? It's 55 pages, but for some people, that puts them in. I had one person that they read all the testimonials. It's 9 pages worth. They read those and they were in. Everybody's different. It's our job to find out how much information they like, what kind of information they like, and then give them the information. And when you follow up, and this is something that we ask is on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you're not really interested at all, and 10, you're ready to sign up right now and get started on the product. Where are you? And if there are 7,
Robin, I'd like to ask you to very slowly give that phrase, that historic phrase. That was so powerful.
How about if I type it in the chat section?
Oh, you want to put it in the chat section?
I can.
Well, that'd be great. I would like to actually hear you say it again slowly, because there's magic in the way you said it. And so
okay.
I would love to hear you say it again slowly.
Okay, and it's in the chat section too. I say I've discovered, not everybody uses the I've discovered part. I've discovered a historic breakthrough in affordable stem cell activation.
That is fantastic.
And I hope everyone gets that this truly is historic. The multi-billion-dollar companies have been trying to crack the code on activating the copper peptide GHK-Cu unsuccessfully. Our genius founder inventor, David Schmidt, has done it. And what a lot of people don't know is one of the top, I think he's considered the top stem cell researcher, and we don't know his name, in the US, said to David, what you say you're doing is impossible. David finally got him over to his lab, and he saw what David was doing. He said, you are doing the impossible, and I want to work with you. And he's now under contract doing clinicals with the company. So we have got truly a historic breakthrough, and David is an absolute genius, and we are so blessed to get to
He's a very nice chap. I've met him on the phone and I've met him in person. He's a very humble, very intelligent, very lucid fellow. And I'm sure you have spent quite a bit of time with him, Robin. I haven't, but when I was there watching him speak, there was something something about him that was connected to the ethers, which I really enjoyed. Yeah, I really did.
He's definitely connected. I mean, on the cruise, the 15th anniversary cruise, he was totally transparent. And he said to people, he said, I live in prayers and then I get a download. And he gives credit where credit is due. And he gives credit for answers to his prayers of where he gets this information that creates these amazing products.
That is fantastic. Now, Robin, you mentioned to me on the phone the other day, and Robin and I have just met, but strangely, I feel like she's an old friend. Like we've known each other for 20 years at least, and I think that she's like that with a lot of people. I think that people just fall in love with Robin just because of her very precious heart and her genius brain, which she's managed to connect. So,
thank you, Francis.
Well, you're welcome. I just enjoy, being connected to you and talking to you because that combination is so rare. And so that's going to lead me to my next question. How do you help people through these times right now? These are very difficult times that we've never known before. We've never experienced. It's like a B movie, And I think Dustin Hoffman did a movie many years ago about this particular situation, but we thought it would only be a movie. By the way, I'll tell you, I've met Dustin Hoffman, and he's a totally sweet guy too. So anyway,
I think
back to that question.
Yeah, the first thing what I've been doing, and I recommend everyone do this, is to reach out to the people on your team. Reach out to the people that you've personally enrolled, reach out to your team members that you work with, and really check in with them and find out where they are. And in doing that recently, I have discovered several people. I mean, I have a woman in my team, with a few of them, they're very busy sewing masks. I mean, they just have such a servant's heart that they're not taking care of themselves. And they're just wanting to make a difference out there in these times. And so we did a little refocusing and said, it's great to do that, continue doing that. And, you got to put on your own oxygen mask first. And so, her business is suffering because she's not putting attention in it. And so what we did.
That's also what the airlines say too, right, Robin? They say, put the mask on you first and then help the second person. And there's a reason for it.
We can't be of service to people if we're not taking care of ourselves, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, living in a lot of questions about that. And so we did a little refocus with her and her business and started reaching out to her people that have lost their focus. And so, it's a great place to start is with people in the business. We have some people that are absolutely thriving right now in their business because they realize that, when the economy goes down, network marketing flourishes. We have a home-based business opportunity where you can get started for basically $25, we want everyone to have products. And if someone doesn't have money, $25 they can get in, they can bring on a few customers that'll keep them qualified to start earning money. And they can start earning money and start paying if money's a problem. We've got a vehicle to help people. So we really want to get to know. So I start out with, my distributors. And I do a check-in with them. And I've discovered some very interesting things. And like Kai talked about recently is the 5 pillars. I've been doing belief assessments. That really helps me understand where someone is. And it's I can guess, and you can spend all the time in the world focusing on, what to say, who to say, how to build your network. But if their belief in the profession or their belief in themselves or whatever isn't good, it doesn't matter. It's not a good use of time. So
As a man in his heart, so is he.
Oh, he's amazing. He is amazing.
Well, you know, I'm a coach also, and that's what I do. I take people through their beliefs, their thoughts, feelings, beliefs, attitudes, and decisions. Because if any of that stuff is misaligned, you can't create success.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a question, Francis. Do you know the origin of the word coach?
Oh boy, I'm really good with information that's not necessary, but I don't know this one.
Okay, so this is really powerful for our profession because the people that are the best coaches are the most successful. And the origin comes from 16th century England, where they had stagecoaches. And the definition of a stagecoach is to convey a valued person from where they are to where they want to be.
Oh my gosh. Isn't
Not
that wonderful?
Isn't it? It's not where we want them to be or where we think they should be. It's where they are to where they want to be. So it's really important because we don't, until we ask, we don't know, you know, why are you doing this? It's always, you know, developing the relationship with your people and finding out. This is a basic in network marketing. You know, why did you join? What are you excited about? You know, so you know, what are some of your goals? These are standard questions when someone's getting started, and that can change over time. You know, I started out as a customer, and then, you know, I got to the place where I wanted to build a business, and then something interesting shifted in me. And it was a shift from building a business to really feeling a sense of responsibility to share this technology with people because of what it does. So I went through several phases.
They're great powers, Robin. I don't mean to interrupt you, but one of your great powers that I enjoy so much is your sincerity. Because you can feel it when you talk. By the way, do you know where the word sincere comes from?
No, I get to learn from you now.
The word sincere means without wax. In ancient Greece, one of the currencies were statues. And a lot of the statues were fakes. The way they made them feel like real, you know, heavy carved statues was they'd fill them with wax. And so they'd say, is this real? Is it without wax? Is it sincere?
Interesting. Yeah. Well, thank you for enlightening me today, Francis. Love it. Love it.
Robin, it's been such a spectacular conversation. I mean, there's not too many people who know how to light me up, but I think that anybody who hears this conversation is going to be lit up, and they're going to be enlightened by what you have to say, because like I said early on the call, you're a lady. You're a gentle lady. You're not a you know, sledgehammer. You're a very kind and gentle soul who's made it big in LifeWave. And I think that you're an incredible example of what we can all learn for. Do you have anything else that you'd love to make sure that we know, Robin?
I do, because back to what I shared earlier is, you know, relationship building comes naturally to some people, but not to everyone. And if you're one of those people that it doesn't come naturally, I know it does for you, Francis. That's your, you know, you just have this huge heart and you can't help but embracing people and loving them. And, you know, the first time I met you, I fell in love with you too. But it's not always that way with people. And so there's a few skills that I recommend people really develop that can make a huge difference, not just in their business life, but in their personal life. And I've been modeling them, but I'm going to take you back and talk about what I've been modeling. And one of the most valuable ones that, again, I was doing unconsciously until I taught this program called Enlightened Leadership for 15 years and trained trainers and learned about the power of open-ended questions. You know, if if we come from a place in leadership that everybody knows the answers to their own questions, and it's our job as leaders is to ask the questions to bring out people's knowing. Well, the same thing is true in relationship. You know, asking people open-ended question. An open-ended question is, it doesn't answer in a 1 or 2 word answer. It's like, you know, so for instance, I'll go back to some of the questions, you know, Francis, tell me what you're doing for yourself to keep your mind really healthy and positive these days. Okay, that's not a 1 or 2 word answer. It's an open-ended question. So learning to ask those kinds of questions and live in questions yourself, but ask questions of other people. You know, what are you doing to stay connected right now, to keep yourself healthy and, you know, and getting better in this unique time that we're dealing with? What are you doing for your personal development that's enhancing your skills? I mean, I think a lot of us are learning about technology in ways that we haven't before. You just did today. It's great. So it's like, you know, develop those skills. And the other one, it's probably one of the most valuable things for life, not just for business, is to develop the skill of truly learning how to listen. And this is where I'm going to go into Stephen Covey a little bit here, because habit 5, Stephen talks about if you want to be influential in life, the key to being influential is to allow yourselves to be influenced first. Habit 5 is seek first to understand, then to be understood. And one of the most valuable things we can possibly do is listen to people. It gives them psychological air. When people share what's going on with them, they have a tendency to exhale, and then that creates this wonderful openness for them to ask, help me understand, what are you doing? You know, so listen, ask open-ended questions, truly listen, not with the intent to respond or thinking about what you're going to say, but truly be present. And a quick story, many years ago, back in 1988, before the 7 Habits book came out, we used to do these executive excellence events with Stephen Covey and other top leaders in the world. And I remember so vividly, Stephen Covey asked me a question. He said, Robin, you know about this marketing stuff. You know way more than I do. Could you help me? You know, please help me understand. And there were hundreds of people around, hundreds. But he was so present with just me, totally present. Nothing else existed. I will never forget how that felt. Stephen Covey's asking me a question. It was amazing, amazing. And I just found out, I do stay in touch with some of my old Covey friends, and his brother is the man that he looked up to. And I remember the day that John Covey, I picked him up I used to live in San Diego. I picked him up at the airport. The first thing he said to me in the car is, so who is Robin? And I was like, whoa, that was the first question. And he genuinely cared. And so people want to be in business with people they know, like, and trust. And those 2 skills will, and taking the time to learn about them, develop them, you'll be amazed at how that transforms every relationship you have and transforms into success in your business also.
Robin, what a gem. I'm a big Stephen Covey fan too, and I think I told you that one of my longtime friends and mentors of 34 years actually was on a Mormon mission in England with Stephen Covey. And he spoke the world of Stephen Covey. And by the way, this gentleman himself is an incredible mentor, and for 17 years was the mayor of a particular town in Utah. So being around you, being around this gentleman I'm talking about, being around somebody like Stephen Covey, being around the enlightened are very powerful ways to get what you want, but not just getting what you want, but helping other people get what they want at the same time.
It's the only
And
way we have success in this business is
yeah,
helping people grow.
I can tell you as I discover more of who you are, and Kai is a longtime friend of mine, and we had Ron Ledford on the call the other day, and his type of expertise. It's so beautiful. I did not realize the treasure chest I had with this upline team, especially you. I did not realize the treasure chest. And so let me tell you deeply in my heart how grateful I am that we're friends now, and that how much I respect you as a leader, and just grateful that you were able to, be on this call with us. So let me thank you from the deepest part of my heart, Robin, and thank you so much for who you are.
Well, I'm truly honored. It was one of those great gifts when we had that first conversation, and I went, whoa, what a wonderful being. And I want to give you a gift. Can I do that?
Please. Okay. I'd love it.
This is a virtual gift, and this is an
Okay.
embodiment of what I've been talking about. And I have this little blue ribbon that says, "Who I am makes a difference." And typically you do this in person. Millions and millions of these in languages all over the world have been pinned on people. There's a story in the first chicken soup book out how a pinning of a ribbon saves someone's life. And Francis, I want to tell you how you make a difference to me. So the first time I heard your voice was on that call where you were introducing Kai and edifying Kai. And I was, Kai is an extraordinary being, as we all know. He's a very, very special being, but the way you edified him was like you really got him in a way that I've never heard anyone share. And that just says a lot about who you are and where you come from. And I thank you for doing what you're doing, serving so many people, looking for ways to expand your team's connection to other perspectives of things, and being a true servant leader. So I want to virtually pin this on you. Can I do that?
Please do. Thank you very much. I'm honored myself. I'm very humbled that somebody as highly esteemed as you would think about that for me. And so I want to thank you, Robin, very, very much. I am touched, and I do feel emotional about this. And thank you. Thank you for being you. And please send our regards and our love and our prayers to Gregory, because you are the dynamic duo. Most people think Robin's connected with Batman, but you're connected with Gregory.
Well, I do want to, but let me finish this, and I want to say one more thing. So I'm going to virtually take the sticky off and put it from your heart towards your dreams coming true. And then I'm going to send you a few of these in the mail, Francis, so you can pin some other people. Okay?
That's very, very sweet. Gosh.
And this is a way that we can really, if we stop and take a moment to, look someone in the eyes and share from your heart. Here's another Covey quote, and this is one of my all-time favorites, is the deepest need of the human soul is to be appreciated, acknowledged, affirmed, and understood. And if we take the time to do that with people, especially now, reach out to people, look in their eyes, speak from your heart. You don't need to have anything planned. You don't even need to know them. You can say, thank you for your beautiful smile today, and then you don't need to have a ribbon, but just, how many times have we been acknowledged by a stranger that made our day? It's a powerful, powerful tool. And thank you for the message for Gregory. And many years ago, when I was new in this profession, someone said to me, he said, find yourself a mentor, someone that that you're aligned with on their values. And I did. And 4 years later, I married him. And so I'm one of the most blessed people in the world to have found a very humble man. You know, he and Kai are very close and they're very similar, and they've had tremendous success in this profession, but they're very humble about it. They're true servant leaders. They're here to make it work better for everyone. And that's what I love about this business, our team, this company. We're very blessed. So thank you for being with your team today. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Robin. And Katrina will make sure you get a copy of this. And my gosh, I don't even know what to say. Thank you seems so very thin and impotent compared to how I feel about this call. This was such a big call. And thank you. And I wish you an absolutely beautiful day, Robin.
Thank you, and you too. It's been a joy, and thanks for being on video, and blessings to all of you. Take really good care right now. Take care of yourself. Really, keep your mindset focused forward. Do things that enhance your skills. Reach out to people. Be of service to people. This is a time, we have something that people want and people need right now, and really connect with them, because we have an opportunity to be of great service to people at a very challenging time. So again, Francis, thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you. Namaste. Have a beautiful day, and talk to you soon.
Before you go, Robin, I've opened up the mic in case anyone wants to ask anything of you.
Okay,
Is there
sure.
anybody who would like to say something? Kathy, please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
It was a real joy to be able to have you here and speaking with us. It's been really incredibly valuable to have the different speakers come on for Francis and Katrina because of the different perspectives. And it's almost like you gave us this little lesson in how to be personable, caring, and asking the right open-ended questions. The one thing that you talked briefly about was doing a belief assessment. And I know we're kind of at the end of this meeting, but that kind of got my, hello there, what's a belief assessment, and how would you, if you could just give a couple of 1-2s about how you might start a belief assessment. What is the question you would ask? That's a common one.
Sure. And if you listen to that call with Kai, he talks about the 5 pillars.
Right.
And those, and I do mine just a little bit differently, but I asked someone, I'd like to do an assessment on a scale of 1 to 10 on belief in 4 different areas. So whatever number comes to the top of your head, whatever it is fine. So I'd like to know belief in the product, belief in the company, belief in the profession of network marketing. And the one that's different than Kai does, and I love what he does because he talks about belief in the team and belief in the pay plan, I add actually, what is your belief in yourself to be successful? Those are the 4 I use, but I like the ones he added too. So, and then it helps me understand if anything is below an 8, that's where we got to do the work.
Right.
That's what I do.
Excellent. Thank you. That was great.
Thank you, Kathy.
It adds on to what he talked about. And I did go ahead, and I don't know anything about network marketing. In fact, most of my life, I've just avoided it for whatever reasons, but I haven't been a salesperson type of person. But I did order that book that he recommended, so it's going to be delivered one of these days soon.
Great. And if you are new to network marketing, which a lot of people in LifeWave are, they've never done it before. And I know that people have a judgment, some people. And when I know people have a judgment, I realize that they just don't understand what it is. So Kathy, really be a student of the business. Eric Worre's program is still on, and it's his GoPro Worldwide Tour. It's a brilliant program, and it's free. It's available to everyone, and you can just look up Eric Worre, and it's the GoPro Worldwide Tour, and you can watch the replay. But become a student and listen to Darren Hardy. Go to YouTube and look up Darren Hardy, Making the Shift. It's the mindset necessary to be successful in this business. If I would have had that when I started, I would have not landed in so many landmines and alienated my entire family because I was over effusive and too excited. And, you know, I couldn't even share my success with them to this day, 20 plus years later.
That is so great. Thank you so much for sharing those.
Oh, my pleasure.
Excellent.
I'll write it in the chat section.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
That's what I figured.
That was
All right. Anyone else would like to say anything?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I had to go off the call for a minute. I had another business meeting call, but you were starting to say something about you really found you got to a point where you just started to take responsibility that kind of clicked for you, that maybe that's all you wanted to say, but when you felt that this, you know, your responsibility to help people with this product kind of changed your view and enthusiasm level?
Yeah. What is your name?
Brian?
Hi, Brian. Thank you. That's another thing. When you share people's names, you're acknowledging them, and that makes people feel good. It's really good to do that and get better at remembering names. So, Brian, you know, I started as a customer, and then I started building a business, and then something inside of me shifted from building a business to feeling the responsibility to share this technology. So it's gone beyond a business that has a goal of, you know, growing people and money and all that stuff, into realizing that people really need what we have, and I'm a voice that can share that with people. So it's a different focus that I have now than I used to have. Does that help?
Well, thanks. Yeah, it does. It's important to hear that. I know the person who signed me up, Gina, feels the same way. It's really, all the other side benefits are there, but it's a great service for just the planet as a whole, as far as light and love and health. So thank you for that.
This is a profession of helping people, and I mean, we've got the greatest product I've ever come across. And I love this company, and I love David, what he stands for, and where we're going in the world. And a lot of people don't know that David has been philanthropic since the very beginning of the company. He doesn't use it as a PR technique. He just shares his resources to places in the world that need it. And he's got his top leadership in the company getting together once a week to look at ways that the company can be of service. So I feel very blessed and grateful to be part of LifeWave at this time.
Well, yeah, me too. And I wanted to add one thing. I wrote down what you said that he said that I thought was pretty powerful, that he lives in prayers and that he gets downloads. I mean, that's a pretty universal thing that'd be good for everybody.
That's what he said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people were deep in tears.
Wonderful.
All right.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to say? Sorry, Brian, if you have some more, please continue.
No, I didn't want to put that out on anybody else, what they should be doing. But anyway, I was just trying to say I appreciated that.
Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure.
All right. Well, welcome the new team members. Christine, I know you're on the call. And is that Steve, who we spoke with the other day? Welcome. So great to have you on the call and a part of it.
Thank you. It was terrific.
Carol D. Francisco, too.
And Carol, are you on the call?
Hi. Hi, everybody. Yes.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you, Robin.
My pleasure. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Francis and Katharina. A pleasure.
So great to meet you.
Yes. Wonderful.
Thank you,
Robin,
Robin.
it's a gift. Now that it's recorded, it's a gift that's going to keep giving, you know, and you are a gift and Gregory's a gift. And LifeWave is very fortunate to have you both. And so we're grateful to have you as part of our support team. And I just hope we can all give each other a hug when we see each other on a cruise or a trip or whatever, or a convention, and spend some time together.
Deal. That's a deal.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So I want to thank everybody for being on the call, and Robin for taking time out of your busy schedule and for reminding us about caring about people and sharing this wonderful technology and opportunity that it is, that's already changing our lives for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Take good care.
Bye-bye.
I
Thank
look
you,
forward to
everybody.
seeing you again in the future.
Robin. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.